Okay, now we're going to do section 2 of chapter 10, which has to do with calculating if there is a difference between the means of two groups when you don't know the population standard deviation, when you just have sample data, which I think is much more realistic. So we're going to do problem number 18 on page 419, which talks about if there is a difference in the ratings of Dunlap tires versus Michelin tires. And this is the data. I got this file from the book for Tire Rack. And you can see the two groups there. And part A says, formulate the hypothesis that can be used to determine whether there is the sample data support the hypothesis that the mean rating of Dunlap tires is greater than the mean rating of MX4 tires. Okay, so greater than, and because that doesn't contain an equal sign, we have to make that our alternative. And then less than or equal to will be our null. Okay, and if we prove that the alternative is true, so if we reject the null, then we did prove, I'll show you this, then we did prove that there is a difference, significant difference between the two groups. So the mean of group 1 minus the mean of group 2 is greater than 0, means the mean of group 1 is bigger than the mean of group 2. If we don't prove that to be true, then the mean of group 1 minus the mean of group 2 is less than or equal to 0. So that's the answer to part A right there on how to do that. Now, part B says, what is the point estimate of the difference between the means of the two groups? So we're going to use the computer to calculate the two means, and then we just subtract the two, and that'll be the point estimate for the difference between the two. So we're going to go back to Excel here, and you can see I have my two groups, and we're going to go to Data, the Data tab at the top, and then we'll go to the Data Analysis over here. Maybe. That's something I'm typing in a cell there. Out of that. Data analysis, and then you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom again, and this time we're going to be doing a t-test, and we don't know if the variances are equal or not, so we're going to assume unequal variances, and the computer will calculate those for us. So click on that one, and then we'll highlight the data for group 1. Oops, it's kind of hard with this camera right in front of me here. Highlight the group data for group 1, and then we'll go back here and do the data for group 2. Okay, and we're hypothesizing the difference to be 0. And I didn't use labels, meaning I didn't highlight the words Michelin Dunlap. I'm going to click OK, and I'll make this bigger so you guys can see it. Maybe. So here's the results. The average for Dunlap was 8.24 rating. The average for Michelin was 7.055. So for part B, when it says what's the point estimate between the two, we'll just create a little formula here that'll take, and we'll do our little formula, the mean of group 1 minus the mean of group 2. So we have a difference of 1.186, maybe if we round that. So there is a difference, but is it a significant difference between the two? So to find that out, we're going to go down here to the bottom. I'll make this a little bigger so we can see everything. And, sorry, this is not cooperating. Go back over here. And this is a one-tail test because it was less than or equal to. So we're going to go to our one-tail, and we're going to look at our p-value for a one-tail, which is 0.000457. So part D, so part answer to C is that 0.000457. Part D says at a 5% level of significance or 0.05, what is your conclusion? Well, that number is less than 0.05, which means if it is less than, we reject our null. So we accept our alternative, which our alternative is that the mean of group 1 minus the mean of group 2 is greater than. So we did prove that Michelin's ratings were greater than, the average of Michelin's ratings were greater, or Dunlap, sorry, were greater than Michelin's. So we proved what we were trying to prove by rejecting our null. So that's how you do problem number 18.